Welcome to LV3, LF3. My name is Shane.
I'm Eneix. We're here with Conn Oleary at his restaurant, Cob and Pen, on the south end of Dixieland in downtown Lakeland. We're here to talk to him today a little bit about what his background was, how he came up with this place, and some other new locations that he's either opened or about to open. So without further ado, I'm going to say, Conn, tell us a little bit about how you arrived at Cob and Pen.
So I was up in Charleston, and I was selling cars, and a lot of people that I've met up in Georgia when I was in school that I've worked with in the bar since '03 were talking about opening a place down here. A former owner of this place called Richard Churphy was born and raised in Lakeland, went to Georgia High School. And he always had an idea about coming back and doing something really cool here. And I known him for a long time, since '03, since I got out of the Army. And they kind of hit me up and, hey, are you interested in bartending down here? I said, no, not really. I've kind of got out of that life a little bit, you know. And then they called me back a little bit later. It's like, hey, how about managing? And I was interested. You know, I enjoyed Charleston, but I don't know if it was ever going to be home. Came down to Lakeland, liked it. You know, liked the potential down here. Liked the, you know, kind of, you know, not having to. The bar was set kind of right around here, so we thought we could make that really easily. And then it took a little while to get going, but when I moved down here, I worked in Orlando at Red Light while this place was getting built. And then the idea was to have kind of a red light 2.0 with an easier beer program in Lakeland, but do it with food. Mm-hmm. So in Red Light, if anybody's familiar, is probably one of the best beer bars in Florida in Orlando. Mm-hmm. But they don't have any food. It's all food trucks. And food trucks are great, but they're unreliable. Right. You know, if the weather's bad, if they're making more money someplace else, they won't show up, and there's no leverage. You know. Mm-hmm. So we were talking about, hey, let's find a spot here. Originally, we looked at the auto parts store down the way. We looked at next to Wells Fargo downtown. Mm-hmm. Both those fell through, and then we got connected via Grant Miller and I think it was Sam Houghton about this place. You know, that they had moved,
right,
and had some great conversations, and it kind of took off from there.
Excellent, excellent. And you recently opened up a second location.
Correct. We opened up
second business, new, totally different concept.
Right. It's unofficially affiliated with Cob and Pen. Just the guy, we own the same things, but we know we didn't want to link the two because we wanted to build its own brand on the north side of Dixieland. The concept there was to do breakfast and lunch. So we open up here 3 or 4 o'clock weekdays, 11 a.m. on the weekends. Mm-hmm. Originally we opened for lunch. Nobody came, so we closed that down. So a way to kind of enlarge our footprint in Dixieland without stepping on our own toes. And we thought we could do something fast, really good food, delicious, but also somewhat health conscious. Mm-hmm. And then probably by TJ and Andy at Concord Coffee, we got linked up with Corey Petkoff. Great guy, great dude, great personality, wants great things for Lakeland.
He was top 40 under 40 actually.
He's been a pleasure to work with, and it'll segue into our next topic, which is Rec Room, which is the same building over there. Yeah. So it's been awesome to work with. You know, he's a great thing for Lakeland. He should be applauded for it. But when we talk about taking over that space behind Dixieland, we were like, hey, how can we do this? Mm-hmm. And so coming up with the menu that we have now, what we could do is be healthy, but also offer some of our comfort foods. And then the biggest change for us would be breakfast. So we open up at 7 a.m. We do breakfast from 7 to 10. We have a little bridge menu, then lunch from 11 to 3.
And that's good time.
Good time.
It's got the big GT circle.
GT, good time, like the herb.
Yep.
And it's been great so far. It's a nice area to be in because we have a nice little great audience in the Dixieland Mall area. But
absolutely, tell them exactly where you're at.
We're right behind Concord Coffee on Dixieland Mall Lane.
It's actually the old Fat Maggie's.
Correct.
Yeah, right. A lot of people know it for the best bacon in
Fat Maggie's, DeLuca's.
That's where I went when I first came in town. The first place I ate was at Fat Maggie's.
Yeah, the owner of Fat Maggie's was actually my son's soccer coach.
Yeah. We hired
same age.
One of our first managers, Lauren McClellan from Fat Maggie's. Jacob Howell, he's one of my managers. He used to work at Fat Maggie's, so.
Yeah. I mean, they did a great job. It's such a small spot. And
I actually never made it to Fat Maggie's.
Oh, so
good. Well, the biggest premise for us was, how can we make this work? So it was kind of like in the Lucas vein where we pick up, because the inside seating is pretty small.
So it's a
walk up. Yeah. And that's how we could maximize on the space, but also kind of protect ourselves from like people come up, no inside seating, and then they leave.
And keep your overhead down.
Right.
I mean, how I kind of think of it myself is it's almost like food truck. Mm-hmm. but yet you do have some, although limited seating.
Food truck without
And,
wheels.
I mean, I've heard the food is amazing. Unfortunately, I haven't got to try it.
I haven't had a chance to eat
And the
it.
one thing about it is like with the food truck is we're like probably as far as square footage for cooking space 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You know, so we have a ton of space in there where we can do parties. We have a happy hour on Fridays where we do like a raw bar. You know, we do. And we're starting to get into a little bit of the catering aspect of it.
Nice.
So, and also to do like kind of like a commissary kitchen where other people can come in, use the space, and then get
that's
out,
cool.
You know.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and the overhead is great. You know, and it's a space where you really have to maximize what you have and not turning into something it isn't. you
Right.
know?
Gotcha.
What would you call the style of cuisine?
I would say kind of like healthy, fast casual.
Okay.
You know. Usually our ticket times are under 10 minutes. You know, we have a lot of kind of health conscious stuff on the menu. For example, one of our biggest selling items is stir fry, and instead of rice, we use cauliflower. You know, so it's a lot of dietary friendly. It checks mark on a lot of dietary friendly diets. But like I said, we also have an amazing fried chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes you get pigeonholed where that's a vegan place.
Yeah.
It's a greasy spoon or whatever.
You
it
don't
is.
want that to happen.
I don't want to be pigeonholed at all. I want
Right.
everything, you know. So I want one day you can have a fresh poke bowl. So we do marinated tuna poke bowl. The next day you can have, you know, a chicken sandwich.
Absolutely.
That sounds awesome.
That sounds good. I need to. I wish I worked closer to Lakeland because I'm still in Winter Haven every day, and it's like fast food, fried food. What we got Jersey Mike's, but otherwise there's just not that many options unless you're like all the way downtown
Right.
or you got time to sit for 35, 40 minutes. But yeah, I love that.
I dig Winter Haven. It's you guys got a gym over there in Grove Roots.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just like you said, it's not close.
Yeah.
And then what's the new one that you went? We did the video, or you did the video on
Oh, a Union Tap Room.
Tap room, yeah.
that was
the self-serve.
Right. So that's a new concept for
Yeah.
Winter Haven.
Yep. So moving on, the I guess quote barcade that you're opening up.
Rec room.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like when you reference Hooters, you know, those certain.
Sure.
Yeah, but that sounds cool, especially for '80s kids. You know, I was born in 1981.
I was born in 81. You
Yeah,
know,
I was not.
We're not
just
gonna
gonna leave it at
divulge
that.
your age.
when I for my birthday, I would get $10 and get dropped off at the Fun Factory.
That's it.
Kylie
Yeah.
Wacona.
Yeah.
And kind of funny, like they would come back 2 hours later, like that's what you do with the child, just drop them off downtown for 2 hours. But it was,
But you couldn't eat.
yeah, it was a highlight. It was a highlight of my year, you know. And so back then, the arcades were where you went to play the best graphics in games.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Street
now,
Fighter.
yeah. Well, now that's gone away. Now the home systems have the best graphics. So to go to an arcade, you either have to play the big brand new kind of big boxy arcade games or the group games, or you have to go to the atmosphere, the experience.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we're trying to do is, you know, we're gonna have probably the emphasis will be on the legacy arcade systems. You know, so you know Galaga 1942 would be really,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, where you would sit there and spend hours.
Hours.
You know, and that's what we want to replicate is the experience. And when we kind of had this concept coming together, I thought about my sister. So I can sit at a bar and drink for 2 or 3 or 6 hours, whatever, and be fine. Within 10 minutes, she's like, hey, what are we doing? And when I say this, she rolls her eyes and she's like, no, we need to go do something. Whether that's darts, karaoke, pool, video games,
Yeah.
whatever, you know, she's not interested in the drinking part of it. She's interested in the experience, like the hanging out part. And so for us, bringing some of that to Lakeland, because the regular bar has been done here, and it's been done well by a lot of people around town, and they've survived the test of time. So why would I open another one like that when there's already so many to go to? So I needed to bring something new. We need to bring something new here, and Barcade's unofficially, so Barcade is trademarked, you know, pretty zealously.
Right.
To bring something like that here made sense, you know, because it does seem that there is a group here as Lakeland grows that wants something non-smoking, more experiential, and something that's curated a little bit. You know, we're not just going to throw a bunch of games out there and be like, oh, I don't know what that is, you know, because I played a lot of these games when I was younger.
Oh heck yeah.
So I'm going to play what I liked.
Yeah.
You know, and so bringing some of that group with that disposable income in to be like, hey, I don't care about. I mean, it's going to be like probably a quarter to 50 cents for the games. You know.
So you're gonna actually do quarters like we did back in the day?
We're gonna do both. So we're gonna do, as of right now, let me knock on wood.
Yeah.
The idea is to have a card coin hybrid system.
Okay.
So if you have 75 cents in your pocket, you can play some games. If you want to buy a $20 card, and that's where the value is going to be on the card.
Is on the card.
So
Absolutely.
$20, it gets you actually 24, 25, whatever it is, worth of playtime. But if you just want to use a quarter, you can do that.
I remember in Tampa they had that one bar arcade, family-oriented place that on Sundays they would do, $20. You get 4 hours of unlimited play on Sundays because nobody wanted to come on Sunday afternoon. So $20, as much as you could play for 4 hours. I used to take my kids in there and they'd be like all over the place, but I could keep an eye on them, and they were all newer games though.
And the idea for us is to be a bar first and then a arcade second. So if you want to come in and watch some football,
Right.
have TV on. If you want to come in and just like have a drink after, relax after work. So a lot of the arcades, the barcades, they charge a cover, and to me that's a gate. Whereas then you become a legit barcade where you have to pay to come in. You can play all you want. I just want anybody that wants to come in. They can play the games that they want to. They just want to relax.
Play with some quarters.
Sure,
they can buy that. I think
That's something that I would definitely be more angled toward versus going to what's that place down in Orlando?
Player One.
Yeah. And I just think it's cool to be able to have the opportunity to go in there, play some old school video games, drink a couple man sodas, and are you gonna have TVs or?
Sure. Yeah, we're gonna have. So the idea is behind the bar, we're gonna have a bank of TVs. One big one will be the game TV. So we'll have like a Nintendo Switch or PlayStation on there. We can play like FIFA, Madden, Mario Kart, or whatever.
Cool.
The rest of them will be cable. So we'll have usually sports playing.
Okay.
So. I like to watch sports around people. I like to watch my team by myself just so I don't cry in front of people. But I want to watch sports around people. I like that vibe.
Exactly.
So the ability to come in, sit down, bump elbows with somebody, and either play a game or watch sports.
Or do both.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Halftime you watch sports.
Yeah, exactly.
The idea right now is to have 2 booths as well, where we have more of a console experience. With a couple TVs in there, we can play against the booths, or one person is playing games, the other person's watching the Georgia game.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like whatever you want to do in those booths, you can. And though, the idea right now is to have those be open to the public or rentable.
Now, when you say you're going back to the games that we grew up on, how far back are you going? So far back to pinball, possibly? Or are you sticking just to console games?
I think pinball is something we want to do. As we're sourcing games right now, the one challenge with pinball is it's very expensive.
It's definitely not cheap.
Pinball starts for used pinball machines about $2,000 to $3,000. Whereas a lot of used machines right now, between a legacy arcade cabinet is between $700 and $1,000.
Right.
So I think the idea is to have pinball in, but maybe not right away. And the cool part about it, as we evolve and grow this, we can change some stuff out.
We do have a decent amount of square footage, so.
Sure, and if something doesn't work out, hey, let's take this one out, put something new in.
And how new are you gonna go?
I think we're gonna have 1 to 2 new games.
Nintendo Switch and.
Well, the console games will be there, but we'll have probably 1 or 2 brand new arcades.
Okay.
And that's just to be as comprehensive, as multifaceted as possible.
I
I don't want to be straight legacy. I don't want to be only new.
So you're gonna cater to the masses
Sure.
and make sure there's something for everybody.
Well, I hope, and the idea is if you bring your child and your child's a little bit younger, they don't care about
That was my
Street
next
Fighter.
question.
They don't care about the legacy cabinets because it's
It's not cool to
watching
them.
this from
Right.
40 years ago. But something brand new with the new kind of graphics, that might be something more interested in. And also we're gonna have a lot of activity games. We're gonna have shuffleboard, like basketball. We're gonna have air hockey. We can play with some
Bubble hockey.
What's that?
Bubble
Maybe,
hockey.
and that's the thing. As we source stuff, we're like, hey, what's cool, what's not cool,
Yeah.
But we're gonna have some stuff that is more kind of action oriented. Where you can play with a date or with your buddy. You're not just at a legacy cabinet like we used to play by yourself. So it can't be like a date spot or something you bring your boys to. One of the coolest things we're talking about doing, and it'll be a departure from pretty much any place I've ever been to, is a golf simulator. So we're gonna have, I don't know what the square footage is, but probably a 9 by 12 room with a swing tracker where you can come in, hit balls into a digitally represented golf course. And that's just a way to, like I said, diversify our footprint as far as our clientele, but also to have something new.
I mean, it's amazing how accurate those are.
Sure.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and it's an idea where you can get hey, I want to come down there, but I don't care about drinking. I don't care about games, but I hit some golf balls. You know?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Or
that's
you can do both.
yeah, sure,
Exactly.
Just gotta be safe. Just gotta be safe. Just gotta be safe.
Family friendly atmosphere.
Yeah.
We are going to be family friendly to a point. After a cutoff point, probably
Like 9 o'clock.
Right. Sure.
And you're gonna serve food.
Maybe that's for right now. The idea is to maybe have some concessions, you know.
Right.
But we already have
bar food.
a full service restaurant with Cob and Pen and Rec Room.
Yeah.
We wanted to kind of maybe devote a lot of the emphasis to the games and the bar experience, you know. And so
Keep it
Is
just
the-
drinks. Just keep it drinks.
I think, like I said, maybe concessions. You know, there's some. I'm talking about a food truck, maybe or not.
Food
Just,
truck.
we don't want the food to be the emphasis.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there's pork chop in every beer.
Sure.
Well, and you also don't want nacho cheese all over the consoles.
Exactly. Like we, drop a bunch of money.
Like we
on
did
this.
back in the day.
Right. You just drop your soda onto it.
Yeah, or you don't want soda messing
Greasy
up your
wings.
$3,000.
No, exactly. Greasy controllers,
yeah.
nothing worse.
Oh, that's the worst thing
Yeah.
ever. So, I like it because it's conveniently located right downtown.
It's right across the street.
Oh yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, when's the? I know this is kind of putting a pin in something, but when do you want to have the?
When I want to open in the spring, and I would say
2020.
yes, March, April. That would be right in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
You know, if I could open in February, it'd be great. I don't really want to open this summer.
I'm about to say February's lofty.
Yeah, it's ambitious, but you know, if you light a fire on something, you might get some results.
You know,
But I think
hey,
the
you gotta
spring
put a
is
goal on it.
probably the realistic wheelhouse.
And goals are just dreams with a deadline. You know?
Sure, and the build out there isn't that crazy. The biggest thing will be the patio. So
Right.
Or you will have a patio.
right, the outside overhang, which is amazing looking, iconic. Corey Peck obviously do some pretty cool things. The overhang to have some neon lighting under there, but those parking spots need to go away.
Right.
You know, they got grandfathered in the code, but now you can't back out of a spot into traffic anymore. So right now we have an idea of doing a patio out there. You know,
I did hear that rumor around town.
and there's great shade down there, you know, and for the first year at least you'll have a great view of the lake, you know, you'll be able to kind of hang outside.
Yeah.
The bar will be non-smoking, so that'll be the smoking area outside. So it'll be, if we do it right, it'll be very cool and a place to enjoy the weather like we have outside right now, which is why people move to Florida.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, I think it's 30 degrees at my house, or my house in Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Seattle, and like last year was 17. You know, so it's like I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. I can do some heat.
The Vikings had a tough game in Seattle on Monday.
I'm the only Floridian here, so you know.
But yeah, so you were in the army.
So I was raised in Hawaii and Seattle, and then went to high school in Mercer Island, Washington. And then at 17, I joined the army. I was
Very nice. I appreciate your service.
Thank you for your service.
I was Intel. I was an Arabic translator.
Oh,
So,
you speak Arabic?
I did. We were talking about this earlier.
Okay.
That is a skill that goes away real quick if you don't use it.
Wow. Yeah.
Evidently, it's not like a bicycle.
No.
If I did a refresher course, I could probably it would come back relatively quickly. But if you don't use it, you sure as hell lose it.
Wow.
You know, and there isn't a need there's no kind of Arabic population around to use it. I did use it when I was in the army, and I was in 4.5 years, deployed twice to Kuwait and Iraq, and then I got out in 03, and then.
Well, we definitely apprate veterans. So
Yeah,
thank you again for your service.
Yeah, no, his family is all veteran, and I was a therapist at a VA clinic, so yeah, absolutely. Appreciation's definitely there. Now, I always like to do Eneix's 5 random questions. Just random questions, and I didn't even tell him that we were going to do random questions today. I just hoped he would assume it. Actually, I hope he forgot completely. But Eneix,
You know, some dreams do come true.
5
Yeah.
random questions.
5 random questions. Let's see.
Not for me.
No, what Conn? What's Conn? You have a lot of tattoos, man. Tell me which tattoo means the most to you.
So
Can you show it to us on camera?
I'm gonna say 2 tattoos if that's all right.
Okay.
So this tattoo right here is the snake, the little wheel on the back of the snake. That's my mother's tattoo. So she's
Okay.
that in her body. And then this one right here, that's my father's tattoo on my forearm. So those are probably my 2 favorite tattoos.
Okay, those are your 2 favorite tattoos. Excellent. All right, Conn. What kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to pretty much everything. If I had to choose a genre, I like classic rock. I play a lot
Classic rock.
of Bob Seger here.
Bob Seger. Now, if you could only have one album to listen to for the rest of your life, could you pick one album that you could only listen to? You don't have to sit here and listen to it all over and over again. But if there would only be one album, one band.
So I'm gonna go off road a little bit and say when I was a kid, grew up in Hawaii and I would crush Bob Marley. And so
nice.
one album, it would be, I'm not sure what the record would be, it'd be a Bob Marley album.
This is a Bob Marley,
Right.
some reggae.
Just a legend.
All the hits, there you go, yeah.
Just a legend.
There you go.
Bob Marley legend.
I had all the tapes. I was a little white boy in Hawaii listening to reggae
Right.
24/7 wearing the Rasta shit.
Hey,
And my two favorite bands, I mean, I listen to everything from metal to country, and if I had the same question, it'd be Jack Johnson and 311. What albums? I don't know, but
last band I was in was a funk reggae hip hop band. So I mean, you know,
You can't be mad listening to reggae.
you can't be mad when you're listening to reggae.
It's a de-stressor.
Write that down. That's something we should write down. You cannot be mad when you're listening to reggae.
Yeah.
So I had the rest of those other questions in my head already, and now they've gone away. So you're a University of Georgia fan. So if you could have a conversation with anybody, dead, alive, famous, not, who would that conversation be with?
With anybody.
Yeah, anybody in history, anybody from anywhere. If you could have a conversation, sit down with anybody, who would that person be?
Just off the top of my head is a random person, probably Roosevelt from the Second World War, and just I thought that was an incredibly turning point in our history, and just hearing how somebody with his, kind of challenges navigated depression throughout the war, I think that would be an amazing conversation and one that you could touch on a lot of really cool aspects of it.
Actually, my grandfather was a part of the WPA, which was created by Roosevelt, and he helped build the brick roads that are in Lakeland. That was one of the jobs for the WPA during that whole revitalization of the economy. And so every time I drive one down one of these brick roads, it makes me think of my grandfather, and every time they want to take away one of the brick roads, it makes me think of my grandfather. But, and then you're driving down and you're like, man, this could be so much smoother. No. So that was question number 3, 4?
that was 4.
That was 4, wow.
Got one left.
All right, man.
Unless my counting's wrong, which I apologize completely.
Anyway,
But
last question. Conn. Dream car. Dream car.
Tesla Cybertruck.
I did
The
see
one
that.
like I did in kindergarten.
When I drive a Ridgeline and people think that truck is ugly as hell, so I don't know that I would be opposed to driving
The one that's
the real boxing one. I'm a weirdly not opposed, but just nervous about smart cars. When I see the video thing in the dash, still gotta look. I would say like a dream car would be, maybe a Corvette Stingray.
what year?
I'm not a big car guy, but I just love the lines from the ones in like the 70s and the 80s.
Okay, so the big.
Mako Shark.
Yeah.
Mako Shark.
Yeah, it was
That was 70s.
coupe, I believe, and just
The C3.
looked like a Batmobile, fast as hell.
Yeah, C3. Good year.
Yeah, I would probably choose one of those.
Okay.
Very nice.
That's my 5 questions. We
That's
just
it.
learned a little bit more about Conn. We've been here at his place, Cool Cob and Pen, down on the south side of Dixieland. And Good Time is just down the street from here at the back of the Dixieland Mall. And his new place will be expected to open in the spring. The new place is called Rec Room. So make sure you check it out and keep up with this guy. I'm sure you can follow him on Facebook or Twitter or any of the other.
Not Twitter.
But not Twitter. Okay,
No,
Twitter.
not on Twitter.
You can follow him on Facebook, not Twitter. And come by, check it out. They've got a lot of good food here. The beer I hear is great. I have not had mine yet, but we're gonna change that very soon. Shane said it's really good.
Really good. What's it called? Crooked Stave?
Crooked Staves IPA.
Crooked Staves IPA. It's beautiful.
Here it's
Yeah, it's a good
delicious.
drink. And I just want to thank everybody for watching, number 1. Number 2, hit that subscribe button. I think it'll be right down over here. But hit that subscribe button, follow, like he said, follow Cob and Pen, follow him. Don't stalk him, but follow him. Check out Good Time. It's spelled GOODTHYME. Correct.
Like the
Perfect.
spice.
You'll see the big GT on the side. I seen it a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't realize it was open yet. Right by Concord, or right behind Concord Coffee. Right next to my church's actual office right there, Access Church. And
Just south of Union Hall.
Yep, just south of Union Hall. It's all right there. It's all, what is that considered? North Dixieland?
Yeah.
Dixieland's
So
growing
it's
up all
it's
throughout,
beautiful.
actually.
There's so much stuff going up in Lakeland.
Great.
It's amazing.
The revitalization of the community is
Yeah.
awesome
Oh,
in
it's
this area.
amazing. Yeah, but yeah, come swing by Cob Pen, say hello, and I'm gonna take a bunch of pictures, kind of put them in a montage. So keep following after, and thanks a lot. Love you guys, and live, love, life.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, my pleasure.
You got anything
Thank
you want to send them off with?
No, everything they said. I'm always around. Love asking questions, or answering questions, answering questions. So, if you get anybody curious about what we're doing, what we're gonna do, please don't hesitate to come up and say hey.
Or you might ask some questions too.
Yeah, random ones. We're not
Yes.
asking all the random questions you want.
Yeah. Live, love, life.
Bye, guys.
Subscribe. Tell a friend. Find some new friends. Shake some hands. Give somebody a hug. I don't care. Just make the life, your life a better place, your world a better place, and just, have a good time.